Now, nobody has to stop. Everybody's just walking by. So why do we have to stop talking because you don't want to hear it? We're not in front of your home. We're not in front of your store. They was in front of a goddamn train station. We're not in front of no place where she has to stand. So why does she have to come and say fuck you to Commander General Hunter? Because the black woman has given the authority to say whatever she wants to a black man. And you telling me we can't check her? He didn't call her a bitch, but still got vilified for it. Because stop talking. Because that's the I ain't interrupt none of y'all when y'all talking, man.
Remember I had the mic and I said
you're right.
Okay then.
I apologize. I owe you 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm honest enough.
Yes,
so now
I hope. So when you jump into it? Bump into it?
Come on, let's get back to it. Come on, Sal. Get your ass face right here because you brought that damn video up. In that video, he did not call her out her name. You know what he did point out, though? And you know how reckless a black woman is? To curse out a black man, she put her child in the back. Now, what happens when she put her child in the back? When she put her child in the back, who's watching her kid while she cussing the man out?
Right there, right on your foot. Yeah, right there, right. Wait. Yeah.
Who's watching that child while she had to come and tell Commander Jenny how to fuck you? Nobody. Somebody could have snatched her child so she can cuss a man out that said you can simply walk down the street. Your child is sitting back there seeing how her woman act, and we can't say nothing about that. Now back to Jabari. Jabari is talking about Jenna Muhammad's video where he said to call a black woman a B when she acts a certain way.
And it makes you a man of God.
You are a man of God if you check your woman. Men of Kemet don't check their women.
Wow.
When he gave that scenario, when he told that story, however y'all
where you get that from? A man of Kemet don't check the woman.
Because you ain't from Kemet, You check your woman all the time.
All the damn time.
That was really funny.
Right.
All 3 of them.
Now listen. So now that's the second
one.
I owe you one more.
Go ahead.
No, I owe you one more. That's 2.
Go ahead.
I owe you one more.
Go ahead.
So now, in that video, Jenna Muhammad was talking about a particular type of disrespectful woman. And when Jabari was breaking it down, it was only when I brought up what is the woman supposed to be accountable for that he addressed the woman being accountable to. The one thing he said that is correct, we do need balance. But check-ins are always in season for a man or for a woman. If I do something out of order, I get checked by somebody. Check-ins come. Women are the only thing that you gotta have this special ability to where you gotta talk nice to them when they saying the most reckless things to you. And what I like about you bringing up Jenny Yohana's video first, and I was gonna bring it up first, is that that's a perfect video anybody can go watch and see a black woman get checked for what she did to a man without being called out of her name. Now that we address that, I want to address what he said about the homosexuality.
No, we are still talking about a topic.
We was talking about this topic before. Listen, all this is distraction.
But he wanted to talk about your topic before you went into that.
That's why I walked away.
Brother,
when he said
this is all about the sister that stopped. That's what we're talking about.
Then you shouldn't have said if you want to be gay, be gay. I wouldn't have nothing to address if you didn't say it. So now I get to address it.
You gotta let him address that.
Now,
come on, he gotta address
now, first of all,
Jabari
you need to put on your tassels.
That's
right
one.
now.
So now we're done. So now we're done.
You gotta stop. Just like you gonna text that other right there. That's a brother to brother. Because he like, no, please be nice to him. He just said no when you interrupted me.
No, but he said no. The only thing he said, no, he did.
Okay then.
I said no.
So that's why I'm telling him stop.
But what he is saying is, let me address what you said about it.
You gotta let him address that.
And here's why I want to address it.
Go ahead.
Jabari brought up the part that the white guy had on the gun, the buck breaking. That buck breaking that they did to black people still plagues us to this day. Because if you go into the psyche of victims, of homosexuals, you're going to see that 98% of them were molested at some point in their life by someone else. And then they, in turn, become predators. You ever see them homosexuals that say, I don't want a gay man. I want to get a straight man and turn him gay. Because somebody did it to them. Now, how do I know this? Because I study it. I've done 3 lectures on this subject. So when it comes to now, and when he says I studied it and try to make that sidebar, what I like about that is,
laugh,
no, because
you would have done that to me.
I would have. That's why I ain't mad at you doing it. But here's why you study it. If you want to fix the problem. That's why you don't say it's okay to be gay. When you don't study it, you will say it's okay to be gay. Now, because I study the psyche of gay people and I see that they was molested, now you're talking about addressing the trauma that those individuals have been through. Now, once you address the trauma, it allows them to believe or know that no, you was not born this way. Some tragic accident happened to you, but you can overcome that tragic event that happened to you. And then you don't become a predator yourself. That's why you should never say it's okay to be gay, male or female, because the trauma that caused them to be gay, you're okay. When you say it's okay to be gay, what you're telling a gay person that was molested that made them think that they was gay, that their uncle was right to do what they did. Their pastor was right to do what they did. Their cousin, their auntie, whoever was right to do what they did. It's never okay to be gay.
Okay.
Hold on.
No.
I just want to say one thing.
No.
I want to
Because
say.
you have to hear this. No, it has to come right after
Sorry,
this.
I got you.
First of all, listen to
this.
this. I have been to Tazaryach's camp.
Before you go, we're going to do your exchange, my exchange, and then close out.
Okay, fine. Now listen, I have to go too. So listen, I want you to hear this. I have been to Tazaryach's camp. Tazaryach has come and debated and even moderated discussions in my house. I've seen Tazaryach dozens of times. I have never seen the secret room in which they are studying gay people. I think I need to find out where this school that you are studying the gay psyche is. How does he know so much about the gay psyche? I think he needs to answer to the community where he said, I've been studying it. Where is he studying the gay psyche? I would like to know what the address is. I would like to know how he has studied the gay psyche. Could you? No, I know, because it's ridiculous. It's rhetorical. It's ridiculous. First of all, I need you to hear that he is trying to use a rhetorical cue against me that I did not say. I didn't say being gay is okay. You didn't hear me say that. You did not hear me say that. What? Yes, you did. You said it several times.
If you want to be gay, be gay.
No. He said if it's gay, it's okay, and you were using the alliteration. I heard you.
You said,
family,
if you want to be
pull
gay,
back the
be
tape.
gay.
And when he does say it, in the comments say, yes, I heard Tazaryach say that Jabari said to be gay is okay. That's he was using.
If I said it like that, that's how.
No, I'm saying you didn't say that. Like.
That's what he said. I said.
No.
But what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this. I got the mic. Stop it. This is what I'm saying. He tried to say that because he's trying to create the straw man that is Jabari. But Jabari is too swift to be confused by his ridiculous straw man. I don't get confused by that. So I want you to hear what I did say. I said, if you're gay, be gay. Because the last thing I want you to do is to go and marry a black woman pretending to be straight, and then destroy her life. And if you look at what happened to Terry McMillan, that is what happened. That's what I said. Don't let him try to do this this thing that he always does, that Kemetic people must be gay, they effeminate, all this other stuff. Stop it. My wife is right there. You say it all.
But I didn't say that today.
Recently. Today. He didn't say it today. I'm going to hold him account for all the crazy stuff he said over the years. He knows that. Come on. He thinks he's slick. Listen, Tazaryach is not a bad debater, but I'm the superior debater. But I'm the superior debater. And he needs to understand, I didn't get confused by what he said. I heard what he said. And I heard how he tried to create the straw man. Jabari said gay is okay. Jabari said if you're gay, be gay. I want you to be who you are, is what I said. Because I don't want you to pretend to be something that you're not and then destroy families, destroy communities, destroy relationships. That's what I said. And no, I'm not finished yet. Because then you also tried to say something crazy about women. I'm going backwards. He also said that Kemetic men think that you shouldn't be able to check women. First of all, if you have to check your woman, as he says. You're in the wrong relationship. If you have to check the person that is your partner, you're in the wrong relationship. And you need to do a lot of work. Now listen, both of them can disagree all they like. I'm the one that marries couples and counsels couples. I'm the one that's been married 20 plus years. These dudes, they don't know what they're talking about. These are dudes on the corner talking about
I got you beat.
Don't let me read you something. Stop. You don't want me to read you because I read both of y'all Negroes right now. So I want to be really clear. I counsel them on everything. Of course I do. So I want you to hear that they need to learn how to communicate with each other appropriately. And because someone says something negative to me, does not mean that I have to do that as well. Because we have to be clear. Look at this brother. He got to be 6'2".
6'5".
That's not 6'4".
6'4" and 3/4 technically.
And he's also 5.5, Daddy. Listen, this is ridiculous. 6'4" and 3/4. I want you to know that when he says this is ridiculous. I've seen his primary wife. She's not taller than my queen. For him to pretend that he should speak to her in an inappropriate way if she speaks to him does not recognize the power that he has.
That's true.
This brother be in the gym all the time when he's not doing body butters. So I want you to hear, come on now, just take the cut and smile. So you need to recognize that he has more power than her.
Right.
And so it does not behoove him to use the same language if she's inappropriate. He has more power. He should say, we are not going to talk to each other that way.
Right.
And end it there.
There you go.
That's what needs to happen.
That's what needs to happen.
And so I just want you to hear, first of all, that I did not say what he said I said about gay people. And that what I am saying is, if you're gay, be gay. Don't pretend to be something
That's
else.
what he said.
I didn't say
And the other thing that I said, the other thing that I need to say here, is that he's saying that black women can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. I think that we need to recognize that we have a great imbalance in our relationships and we have to correct it. Because someone is completely funky and out of order doesn't mean that in order to put things back in balance, you have to be funky and out of order. If you are a man you have more power. And I don't know the video with Jen Johanna. I'm not even talking about it. I'm not even talking about it. I'm not even talking about that. Tazaryach would like us to talk about something other than what I mentioned.
No, I didn't. I talked about it.
So I just want you to hear very clearly that if a sister comes before ISUPK, let me not say ISUPK, a Hebrew camp, usually they say the most vile things about them. They don't correct things. They're not trying to heal. I've heard them curse women out with the most disrespectful language. And that
Now, I don't disagree with him about the mother camp. You're just not going to see it with money. And Commander Jenny Hanna, when he dealt with that woman, did not call her out her name, but she came and said, F you. When he said, be gay, that translates to it's okay. That's why I said what I said. He did not say it's okay. How you say I straw man you just straw man me would say I want to go to the secret place where you learn to do
That's not a straw man.
It is a straw man. Because you can learn anything from studying. I ain't never done crack, but I can learn the effects of that. I ain't never murdered, but I can learn the effects of that. There's a lot of things I ain't done, but I can learn the effects of it or study it without being it. And very simple. For homosexuality, you can go online and go. Matter of fact, this sister in our school, this doctor in our school, wrote a book called Surviving Trauma that I bought. And in the book called Surviving Trauma, her book showed the ramification and effects of homosexuality and what it does. I'm not a learned person where I go into everybody's psyche, so I go online. I read some books, like I read the doctor's books, and then I learn. Say again? No, because I'm not gay. That's why it's something he does. He probably does that. That's why he keep bringing that person up. Right. That because you don't have to do that to fix the problem. When Van Baden had that situation, we had that rally. We did a whole rally, a lecture, me and Irritated Genie, on child molestation. I ain't never been molested, but I can speak for those that have to empower them. You understand? I ain't never been addicted to dope or heroin, but I can speak and empower those that have been hooked on it. So it's homosexuality is no different. Homosexuality is a mental illness just like any other mental illness. You could be Down syndrome, you could have, and in the DSM before 1970, homosexuality was classified as a mental disease. How do I know that?
No, that he's right. He's
How do
right.
I? How do,
What?
I don't know if that was it. So now, homosexuality was classified as a mental disease, and then it was homosexuals in San Francisco that stormed the convention and made them change that to where now it's not a mental disease.
Right.
Now, how do I know that? You come right to when he said, "Where do I go to study?" You come right to 2279 Third Ave.
There's the address.
Yeah, 2279 Third Ave. We have a school Monday through Friday. We'll teach you how to defeat every demon that's in you, every evil thing that's in you. That imbalance, when he said he counsels marriage couples, he's not counseling just happy couples. He's counseling couples that have issues too. Having an issue with your mate is not the end of the world.
No, it isn't.
There's no. I've been married to the woman that he mentioned. I'm June next Friday or Saturday. It'll be 22 years I've been married to that woman. We've been up. It's
you're in trouble.
But you would never call her.
You know you're in trouble.
I'm not saying that I called her that. But I've
You
called
said
her.
you would never call her a bitch.
I've never called her that. I've never called her that. But I've said other things, though. She said other things to me. In a relationship, you're going to have issues. You just work through those issues. So there is ways that you can communicate that does not require using that. But if a woman is...
Why are we arguing for you to agree with me?
You got to let me finish. But if a woman is attacking you in that fashion and you choose to match her met, you are not wrong for doing it, because sometimes the way that woman
I disagree with you, Captain. On that,
y'all are
man.
crazy as hell.
Because you are.
Commander General Hunter couldn't even say to that woman, "Can you just walk down the street and not hear it?" That's all he said to her, and he got to fuck you for it. Now you telling me that is what happened.
If that's what happened, I didn't see the video. But if that's what happened,
she had a baby. Jabari, she had a baby with her.
If that is what happened,
that's exactly. That's not what happened, Sonetta.
That's what happened. But
Thank
you
you.
are a priest, man.
Right. Commander General Hunter is the man. Wait, Commander General. Wait.
Dude,
So he
General Hunter wear his heart on his sleeve.
Wait, hold on.
We gotta have.
He didn't call her a bitch though.
No.
He didn't call her a bitch. All he asked her was to just go down the
What did he
street.
say after when you said you went?
He went in on her after she cussed him out.
But what did
And
he
not
say?
only
See,
did
here
he
what
the video? Could you tell me what he said?
I know. He said, oh, and now it's F me. And then he started saying, you know what your problem is? You black women have been allowed to run rampant and just cuss black men out, which is what they are.
No, he was
what
going
reason?
in, brother.
What
Come on,
reason?
Captain. Stop,
He
man.
did, but he did not call her out her name. But he did pull it up. Matter of fact, put it in the video when you put it up, and so everybody can see. He did speak to the problem that black women have with being able to disrespect black men no matter what. There was no reason
So
for
he
her to
didn't
say.
call out her name or nothing.
Just pull up the tape. I'm tired of saying the same thing. But there's no reason for her to have said to put her kid in harm's way for her to come and say F you to him because he said keep walking down the street.
If that's what happened, we agree on
That's
that.
exactly what happened.
So if that's what
So
happened,
now,
we agree on that. But that doesn't mean that what he did might have been warranted. I don't know what he did. I don't know what
anybody, listen, anybody coming in your face acting like that, you are allowed to defend yourself. However you choose to do so. Except violence. We don't teach it. We don't teach it. We don't teach words. We don't teach words require harm. We do teach self-defense. So if Jabari was to hit me, I can defend myself. If I was to hit him, we agree on that. But we don't agree just because he say something I don't like to then hit nobody. So that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But nobody, when it comes to the black woman and how she can treat and talk to the black man, she can do anything to him. Let me give you an example. And now I'm going to give an outside of a Kemetic or Israelite example.
Kevin Samuel.
Jay-Z got made fun of because he would not hit Solange in that elevator. They made fun of him. They made memes about him. They call him a sucker because Solange going off. She doing all of that. Ray White, in the same elevator scenario, Ray White's wife spit on him. And he hit her. Now, I don't justify the hitting. He ain't played football since. So you damned if you do, damned if you don't when it comes to the black woman.
So you say Jay-Z should at least smack us?
No, Jay-Z handled it perfectly.
Okay.
What I'm pointing out, Jay-Z did it right by not putting his hands on her. What I'm pointing out is that even when he didn't put his hands on her, his manhood was still disrespected.
The majority.
That's exactly what it is, because that's this. That's this. I ain't saying anything about black and white.
Yeah, you did.
We talking about black. I'm saying black women. Why we talking about white? Why would we sit here and talk about our people? Somebody got to bring up the white man. I'm saying black woman because I love
black. But you said that's what happens when
he's talking about our people, though, man.
But we're talking about our people.
Why
Why are you bringing white people into a black conversation?
He's saying white. No,
Because
he's not talking about white. He's saying why is it a racist?
It's not a race issue. You just made it a race issue.
We just talking about our people.
Because I'm talking to black people and black things. What? That's a family
He brought
issue.
white in. We wasn't talking about race.
We talking about my family. My family is black. Get your ass out of here. Shut up. So now, when we have this conversation, you see how I did that with him? That's necessary because he's bringing an element that's not necessary. We're not talking about, this is not a race conversation. This is a family conversation. I've been saying black woman, black man, because this is issues that affect black men. We are the most attacked people, period. We shouldn't be talking about nothing else. So in closing, I did say,
The camera, brother.
Sorry, you missed it. Let's just do that. Now we gotta leave. So in closing, the one part out of everything that we said today, the one part that I do agree with Jabari when he was talking about the white man with the guns, we do have to arm ourselves. If y'all paying attention, black people are beginning to wake up in some type of consciousness, period. Because of whether it be the oppression, whether it be the state of the world, whether it be these killings, whether it be these shootings. But it's not enough to just be mentally prepared. You have to be physically prepared. You have to be disciplined. You have to be all of those things. In the Israelite School of UPK, we arm us up mentally, physically, disciplinarily. We do it all. I know I probably just made up that word. But we do it in all.
You live, man.
No, but I'm funny enough to do it like that. So we do it in all facets because the state of the black people requires it. So
You
with
want to
that,
address you before you leave? People want to say.
I want to address Captain.
I address top each there. Yes, sir. So in closing, Jabari, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
There's some
Good
things we
dialogue.
agree on.
I want you
agree
to
on.
check out that the video. Matter of fact, I'll text you the one I was talking
Please
about.
do, because I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to the video directly.
And what was funny about it was Tommy Sotomayor had
He played
used the video to show how you can't even correct a black woman without her cussing you out.
But Tommy Sotomayor got issues with black women.
He do.
I mean, he's not a good example.
He's not a good example.
No, don't even. But you shouldn't say that. No, but a YouTuber said.
No. The reason why I use Tommy because he's somebody outside of like our realm of spectrum.
Tommy
And
has
when you
issues
watch
with
that
black women,
video-
though. So
when you watch that video, you see exactly
what I'm saying is that we need to return to balance. All right, peace.
Unfortunately, I get a chance to talk. I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
We talked yesterday, man.
No, we can continue to talk.
No, I got to go to camp. That's why
I got to bogey.
Yeah, I got to go to camp.
Nah, Jabari. Give me another minute, bro. I want to talk to you.
But
We're
it wasn't,
right.
I wasn't
Rob,
going
get
to
his
talk about yesterday.
Okay, well, we got to do it another time, Reggie. I got to go.
I didn't see you with the mask.
I just spoke to. I just spoke to Quandra.
Shit, you better apologize. You was looking bad out there, man. Don't apologize.
Can you take Sister It's been a long. We're talking like 22 years before. I don't even know if we were married.
You know, I think
Come on, man. Don't go down the block with your like
I don't have a lot of time because I got to run.
Jabari waiting. We done. Come on.
if you're a person of means, come on.
No, but no, right?
Yes.
Come on, man. Come on.
If I'm a person of means, I'm cold right now. I'm all. Nothing happened. Nobody got it now. I'm heard like yourself.
Okay. I'm going to talk for a while.
Sorry, boy.
But see, like, objectively, you're correct. No, well, I'm gonna say black and white. That's why he's trying to set us up.
I saw him whispering to you.
I was telling you, I do want to say for the camera. The last time down, come on. You touching up my pull-ups, man.
Not even true. That's all.
Hey, stop. Just turn the camera on me and the brother real fast. Me and him good, y'all. It's all right. I just had to help him out a little bit. I said me and him good. I had to help him out a little bit.
We have to see each other's way.
That's it. Let's take it easy.
We'll have that conversation. You and me. My brother Reggie is.
Reggie, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Reggie, let's go on. Right, down here.
I'm trying to. All right, don't call me.
Yeah,
Don't call me. I'm serious.
You can feel it.
no.
Very simple.
Sorry about that.
Keep your elbow.
I don't have a lot of time. Peace, brother.
You got time, brother.
It's good to see you, man.
You got strong. You pushed me away, man.
Please, look at
That was the unk power.
muscle.
He put the unk power
You
on.
know you're crazy, right?
I am crazy enough.
See, she can joke, but when I joke,
How you want to disrespect me like that?
I say y'all ain't got nowhere to go. She said, how you gonna disrespect me like that?
She already upset with me, so you got upset from me. You got to.
Yeah, I got hit. I got hit.
Yeah.
But we're here now.
It's been a long time, brother.
So, nah, man, I ain't supposed to.
He got all his shots.
I'm vaccinated too. Nope.
You vaccinated too?
Yeah. And I do it, and I wear this for my job. So here's the question real quick.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
constantly see you battling Hebrew about spirituality.
Yes.
I think we're in a new age where we don't need spirituality.
Put the mic to you so we can
I
hear you
don't think
clear.
we need spirituality.
Okay.
I think we need to get into plan. And that's the ultimate religion. The upliftment of the people who come from themselves. So when you're always pointing the finger at Hebrew, look at the Bible, look at this. I mean, all the mythological stories you like to say is metaphysical. They're spiritual, they afterlife, and all these other things.
Yeah,
So,
I wouldn't disagree with that.
I know. So like, why do you continue to attack another spirituality group when you have it?
When you have it is spirituality. What's the it? When you have it too. What do you mean?
That's what Mr.
What's the it? When you have it too. What's the it?
You have it.
What's it?
Spirituality.
Oh, come on. Listen.
You just said you own it. You agree with
Let me
it.
say this. But he said, why am I attacking another group when I have it too?
Yes.
He means when I have spirituality.
Oh, let me tell you. Let me make it clear.
Okay.
Spookism.
Okay. Well, let me say this. I know that Rob Warren thinks he's insulting me when he says spookism.
No, I'm never trying to insult you. Bro.
But
This
who
is
he's
how I
really
see it.
insulting is the billions of Africans who have come before us. That's who he's insulting by calling the traditions of ancient Africa spookism. By the way, the term
that's bad,
spookism is a term that the
You
Talmud
sound like the
used
white man now,
to
Rob.
make fun of African spirituality.
Right.
He might as well call it mumbo jumbo. He might as well say the worst possible things that he can about African spirituality. I'm not the outlier here. For tens of thousands of years,
Reggie,
at least
you can get in.
thousands
You
of
can get
years,
in.
at
Too.
least
Get in
thousands
too.
of years,
Come on over.
Africans have had spiritual.
Reg, come over here. Come on.
And so when he
Get
says
in.
that he believes that
Please,
we're
man.
at a time that we don't need spirituality anymore, what he is saying is that he knows better than the billions of Africans who have come before us. I'm not that arrogant. I believe that the challenge, the major challenge that we have, is that we are no longer connected to our African culture, that we've lost knowledge of who we are, that we are actually in a place where, in order for us to move forward, we have to return to this. That's my argument. He doesn't have to agree. But when he says that African spirituality is spookism, he's not insulting me. I'm just one dude that lives in Harlem.
So tell them what it is.
He's actually
Let the people know
insulting
exactly what
all
is African
of
spirituality.
those people, all of those Africans who had spiritual traditions. And I challenge him to find an ancient African group of people that did not have spiritual
The
traditions.
challenge is set. Yeah.
Spirituality is part and parcel of the African psyche.
Yes.
And it's really so strange to me that a brother who is a 5%er can talk to me about having spirituality. Because the 5%, the nation of the God and earth, is a spiritual tradition.
No, it's not.
Now he's going to try to say it's something
I'm
else.
telling you it's not.
Well,
explain to me what is spiritual in it.
His
What is spiritual
position,
in it?
his position that it isn't. And he can.
No,
I'm
I
not
want
gonna-
you. No,
wait,
you
listen.
talking
And
to the
I'm
camera.
not going to pretend to tell him more about the nation of gods and earth
'Cause you don't
than
know
he
it.
knows. But what I am going to say to you is this:
I'm waiting for the mic.
billions of Africans have said
I'm
spiritual.
trying to see the mic.
And I think that some people think that because Christians, Muslims, and Jews have done dastardly things to the African, that we need to discard everything. And I'm saying to you, family, that's like having a bottle of foul water and saying you will never drink water again. That's what it's like. All we need to do is return to the source. For thousands of years, we see African excellence. We see spiritual traditions. Why does he think that he has an equation, a scenario that is different than we see when Africans are in power? I'm just saying return to who you are. He's saying do something new things. That's what he's saying. And in fact, when he does that, he doesn't even seem to recognize that it's the European that's saying. It's the Tamu that's saying that spirituality is there.
And you're still saying
So
Tamu
he's
means
in-
white
he's
man,
in
and
that
Tamu
camp.
don't mean white man.
Now,
You're
he's
still
saying
saying that
he
too.
wants to, we could talk about Tamu if you like.
Oh yeah, we could get in.
And I'm going to say to you that the main scholar that calls the European the Tamu is Sheikh Anta Diop. And I'm going to listen to Sheikh Anta Diop and not Rob Warren. I apologize. You hope you hear the sarcasm.
Can we get the
I
mic, please?
really would prefer.
I wanted
I
you to
would
answer my
really.
question,
I
brother.
did answer your question.
No, you didn't. I said,
Well,
why do you? here's
maybe
the
you
question.
didn't. Maybe you can ask it
All
when
right.
you're on the camera. I'm
Okay.
responding to what you said before.
All right, but I
Okay.
asked you a question.
Okay. Yes, I'm responding to what you said when you handed me back the camera.
I
The
want
mic.
Yeah, but you're not answering the question.
I'm gonna say that I don't think we need to discard spirituality. I think we need to be involved in African tradition. That's what I think we need to do. And if he disagrees, he can disagree. I'm not going to his house and trying to get him to become a person of the Kemetic tradition, even though his name is Rob Warren.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So the question, the why do you talk about other people's spirituality when you have the same things that you cannot prove? All right. So just because you have black people, you just brought up billions of people. There are billions of Christians on the planet. There are billions of millions and millions and millions of people that have Islamic tradition. Does that
There's billions of Muslims.
right? Does that mean that they are correct because you pointed out that number? No, that does not mean that they're correct. So in this day and time, and what we're dealing with, we're talking about looking outside of ourselves for something that we cannot prove.
I don't agree with you on that, on your definition of spirituality.
Fine, brother. I'm not defining spirituality.
Okay.
I'm talking about dealing with religious concepts of afterlife, heaven, hell. When you're looking at the ancestors that you're talking about, yes, we do have those traditions. Where was the voodoo spirits when we was on the slave boat? Where was any of that? Our
They
true
use that.
liberators are black people. I want to talk about the Black Liberation Army. I want to talk about the Black Panthers. I want to talk about those. That's what we can show and prove of the actual fact. Your God exists in the Bible. The God exists in the Quran. There's spiritual meta on the wall. None of them gods ain't never come off the boat with us, and they can't do nothing for us. When you say return back to the source is understanding who we are as a people, because we got stripped of knowledge of self, knowing who we are, where we came from, and those spiritual traditions are a part of that. But however, in this day and time, what is the number one thing that we suffer from? We dealing with a wealth gap. We dealing with things that trying to develop generational wealth. We dealing with no spiritual system can save that. No spiritual system can stop racism. No spiritual system can stop the white man shooting a goddamn pregnant black woman a couple of months ago. I mean,
Weeks ago.
Yeah, weeks ago, actually.
It's recent.
So what I'm saying is, the question to you really is, when you speak about all of the Hebrews and all of these things, we agree that Kemet is a part of the foundation of civilization, right? We agree that a lot of people borrow from their spiritual system,
Right.
right? We all agree with that. However, if those things, afterlife, believing in entities that don't exist, is in your text and what you deal with, why do you constantly want to battle the Christian and all these other things? That's the question.
Thanks, man.
I think that one of the challenges that I have, and Rob Moore and I have had some interesting conversations, right? But I think that we probably need to have a few more.
Yeah.
Because when I hear him talk about spirituality, no, I think he would agree on that. When I respect Rob Warren, right? Sometimes he gets a little disrespectful. He let me say spookism because he's trying to insult me. But I just let that roll off me because he's not insulting me. He's insulting his grandmother.
That's true.
So what I want you to hear,
our ancestors.
what I want you to hear,
Don't mean
what I
it's
want
real.
you to hear is this. What I want you to hear is this. The ancient African spiritual traditions are truly about seeing the divine in you. That you
Facts.
are divine.
Facts.
Not that I'm begging for any Tom who with a beard on a cloud for anything. So the spiritual traditions from ancient Africa are radically different than the ones that were poorly plagiarized and are now being promulgated amongst our people in Harlem and the Harlems of this country and of this world. They're not the same thing. And I think that he would agree with me on that.
Oh, yeah, fact.
But I think that he believes that the solution is to not be spiritual at all. And here's the deal. He can do that. I don't have a problem with him because if he doesn't want to be spiritual. I'm not going to roll up into his house and while he's sleeping, paint an ankh on his forehead. I'm not going to do that. At least not on a Saturday. Maybe Sunday I'll do that. But he needs to hear that simply because there have been devilish things that have been done with that Bible, with that Quran, with that Torah, it doesn't mean that every spiritual tradition needs to be destroyed. That's an overly simplistic analysis. For many years, for thousands of years, we see Africans living in peace and prosperity with spiritual traditions. I am not so arrogant to believe that I know that they were wrong. And I think that when I hear people say that, it's like they think that our African ancestors were wrong. By the way, he said where did the Voldoon come and save us off those ships?
Yeah, when did the actual
I think that you know.
Where did it do it?
I think that you know. In fact, just push one in the chat. If you know that one of the major factors in the liberation of Haiti was their African spiritual tradition. Push one in the chat. Because he's acting like he doesn't know that story. Rob Ward reads everything. I know he can tell. Look at his face.
Yeah,
he can tell that
I'm
story.
just waiting for you to
So
give me the
why
mic.
is he trying to make it sound like revolutionary battles did not also have spiritual aspects?
Black Panthers, no spirituality.
So, well, some Black Panthers did.
but that's not
Some Black
Rob Ward.
Panthers did.
No,
but listen.
Louis P.
listen.
Newton was
But
spiritual.
listen, but wait a minute, Let's be clear about something. We can study Black liberation movements and also Black spirituality. One doesn't cancel the other. I study the Black Panthers. I teach a college level course on Black history. I actually speak extensively about the Black Panther Party and other movements, simply because spirituality wasn't a major aspect of their approach to organization. Doesn't mean that it invalidates spirituality. I think you can do all of those things. And when I when I say that we have challenges with the Hebrew text, with the Torah, when I say that we have challenges with the Bible, when I say we have challenges with the Quran, one of the major issues I have is with the very negative, the misogynistic aspects of the text. Family, you have seen me talk about this. Are you saying that because the Christian book, the Bible, has things, the first time we see it wrong with the Black people? So all I'm saying to you is this. He doesn't need to be in a spiritual tradition. I'm not forcing it upon him. But I am going to say that I think one of the major challenges that we have is that people of African descent have been removed from our culture, have been removed from our spirituality. Some of the first things that our enslaver did is said that we could not practice African spirituality. They said we couldn't read. They said the only day they would give us off was Sunday so we could read from their Bible, or at least some facsimile thereof. And so I think that he should be able to see the writing on the wall. It is African spiritual traditions that have been our guide. Notice he only mentions the Black Panthers. There are many spiritual movements that have done many powerful things, even Christian movements. I'm not daft to that reality. I'm not daft that a mainstay, for example, of the Underground Railroad was spirituality. I'm not daft to that. And I know he isn't either, because he reads everything. But he thinks that if he gives a selective reading of history, that he's going to confuse me. Rob Ward, you know we both read together, right? Don't try to confuse me.
I'm just waiting for you to
stop it.
Keep going.
You tell me that Black liberation movements have not been spiritual?
No, can I get the mic?
Go ahead.
Okay. when you bringing up Haiti,
No,
right?
it looked like it's that way, but it's got Sula and the rest.
All right. So when you bringing up Haiti, right, and the question is, where are the spirits that they believe in liberating the people? So the Laos, they believe that it's real, right? They pronounce multiple ways. Laos, Lola, as LWALOA, same thing, right?
Okay.
So those voodoo spirits, they believe that these are existing ancestors, right? All of those West African traditions believe in an ancestor realm, meaning that they're not communicating with God, but they're communicating with the dead people. The reality is,
It's either or.
no, that's what they believe. And
But they don't believe it. They don't communicate with both.
You can't communicate with dead people.
What?
And there is no, so in West Africa, right, they don't have temples to the main God. Because like you said, in the Abrahamic faith it's different. God creates and leaves. There's no jealous God. There's no, that's a different concept. But the created concept is there. Such as Mao Lisa, the sun, the moon brings forth, and Nana Baruch. Not creates and it's gone. Now it is those spirits that are around. Same thing with the Akan, you'll have the Abosa. So now when we getting back to what we're talking about, when we're talking about the revolution, wasn't the spirits? No. That is a part of their culture. They got together, and one of the things that Duddy Buckman is supposedly saying, let's get rid of this damn Bible, and we're gonna go to war. And these people were military trained because they were with the French. So the military science and them coming together based off of their cultural background freed them. What I'm saying is there is no spirit, there is no God, there is no supernatural force that freed the people. So in this day and time, when we're dealing with people that have all of these different cultures and things, there's no spirit that's saving you. You can pray all you want. You can hum, you can do all of that. It is your exact actions that do that. The way you think is how your reality is going to be perceived. And that's the truth. That is the ultimate truth. So what I'm saying is, you picked out the misogyny part in the Bible. You be talking about Noah, Exodus, you're talking about the core beliefs. But in the Kemetic tradition, you have all of these other things. You have your Book of Gates, you have all of this spooky stuff in it. And I am, because it's not real. That's what I'm meaning. Being real here. What I'm dealing with is the natural forces that govern us. And that's those four major forces. You're strong, weak, etc. That's what you're strong, weak, nuclear, and gravity. Those four forces. Alright? Those are the things that govern us. Nothing else. So now you ask me about my tradition. We're not spiritual.
Okay.
We don't pray to nobody.
Okay.
We understand that when we say that we are the gods, we say that we are the controller of our environment. There's no chanting. There's none of that. It is the work of the people that will liberate the people. And we got to get to that. We can't keep looking outside of ourselves. Just because the Africans did it over there, that don't mean that it's right. That doesn't mean that. You can point out, yeah, they all had spiritual systems. Yes, they all believed in the God. But when they came to the white man coming over there, none of them spiritual things that they believed in saved them. It was their technology and their willingness to fight. Now you brought up the people coming over here when you're saying they wasn't allowed to practice their culture. Why they wasn't allowed to practice their culture? Because they were able to communicate. Then you have your Maroons. Then you have all of these people forming based off of that cultural bond. No matter what they said, Queen Annie, oh, she getting shot, she can catch bullets from the butt up, and all these things that nature. We know that's not true, but this is what they taught. But it is their actions that free the people. Man and woman are the true liberators. Man and woman, if you want to call it spirit, that's where it emanates from. All of these things you're talking about.
Just say if you want to call it spirit, that's where it emanates from.
Yeah, you can call it if you want to do that. If you want to do that. So when you're looking at Hebrews, Muslims, Kemetic, thank you, brother. Look, I got the African shea butter. Hold on. Come over here. I'm gonna get this. This is straight from the continent of Africa.
That's right.
From the man who says that fuck the Hamites.
That's right.
How you feel, man? How's it make you? Look at your skin. You shining like me, bro.
Yeah, glistening. All off of that body part.
That Hamite shade is pretty good.
Is this gotta be a commercial for
Yeah,
your
yeah, that's why I'm glad he said it.
How does it become a commercial for shea butter?
Yeah, get shot up. Where you going, man?
I gotta go, man. I gotta take my kids out. They both graduated.
Yeah, I gotta go too. I'm parked right there.
Wow. She's about to be a teacher. My biggest daughter, the one that almost died 4 years ago.
Wow.
Shout out to her. My other daughter, she's about to graduate from high school and go to College of Slate. So shout out to the two
Shout out to
queens,
the
man.
fans.
But peace and love to everybody. Don't forget to get my book. Hey, Reggie, if you had my book last night, he
still would have lost.
He would have ran off the
Still would
stage.
have lost.
Chapter 10, I wrote specifically for Salt Leather and contradiction. You got over 200 things you could have used.
And I would have killed him.
But this is
you should have read it. Only thing I'll agree, you should have read Garfield's book. This nigga read some Mitch Pod, Genesis 1 and 5. I don't know what the hell he was
Yahweh is
talking
mad
about.
at you.
Yo, I got
I can tell you one thing. Yahweh is upset.
Shout out to everybody.
Inside
that's
joke,
here.
apparently.
House of Consciousness. We got Jabari. We got his beautiful wife over there. We got Reggie. We got Rawborn. We got Tazaryach. Peace and love to everybody. I can't say I got to run, but I want to say support Amazon, Misconception, Misinformation by the Black Hebrew Israelites, Volume 1. Look out for Volume 2 coming out October. Black History Month in UK is going to be the big day for it, about Deuteronomy 28 and the transatlantic slave trade. All right?
Can I say, listen, now you know Garfield and I have been arguing and beefing all
Every
the
day,
time.
every day.
When he talks about his kids, I just want to say congratulations on the work that you've done with them and that they're going to do some things. You and I can still be beefing, but when it comes to you supporting your children.
Shout out to the sister queen.
Now, can I say
When
this?
is the debate gonna happen? Put the camera on me. You gotta enter.
Wait,
When is the
wait,
debate
wait,
gonna
wait,
happen? We're gonna get straight to it.
Wait.
What time? Hold on. Tell me the time first. What's the time?
We both gotta leave.
Yeah, he gotta leave.
All right, I gotta leave it 2:50.
In a minute, I'm gonna have a ticket. But I want you to hear that when Rawborn describes spirituality, when he describes the things that African people do well, he's describing what I call spirituality. I don't believe that if I pray, Heru's gonna come down with an axe and defeat my enemies. I am saying that Heru is an aspect of me that I am trying to cultivate.
But that's not what I said, brother.
And so I know that's not what you said.
Yeah, what
But
I'm saying is...
wait. Let me explain.
No, this will be real
Because
quick.
when you
1
say,
second, I swear
let
to you.
me, brother, you just
Because you
spoke and I
keep saying
listened.
what I'm not saying, and I wasn't finished.
But what I'm saying
No, this
is,
is real quick. Jabari,
how
please.
does he get to go real quick?
This is real quick. Yo, when they say they believe in an ancestral realm, this is what I'm talking about.
No,
They,
but-
no. They believe that those ancestors, they can communicate with them. That's what I'm talking about, brother. That's what I'm talking
he
about.
says he
Are you
takes
denying that? Are you denying that?
He said he takes issue with the Africans saying that there's an ancestral realm. And he takes issue with me. I also argue. I also have a sense of the ancestral realm.
Where is it?
And so
Where is the
I'm
ancestral
gonna-
realm?
It doesn't exist on the physical plane. So you're asking me for he's asking me for coordinates on the map. It does not work that way. Okay, it does not work that way. He's the only one that doesn't believe that believes there's no spiritual. If you just speak, you speak up and down. No, Reggie does believe there's an ancestral.
No, hell, he don't.
I believe in my mother and my father.
That's right.
And they're gone now. They're gone.
That's my.
Do you see how he didn't answer the question? I know Reggie.
Wait.
I know Reggie.
No, Reggie don't
Reggie,
believe it.
are you saying that now that your ancestors are gone, or have passed on, that they don't exist anymore? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that they exist in them. I personally as a human, believe, but that doesn't mean that it's true.
Yeah,
but I believe.
That don't make sense, brother.
Wait.
He asked you, Reggie.
It makes
Wait.
it makes
All I can say is this.
I
I'm not
can't
gonna.
put-
I'm not
I
here
can't
to-
put my belief.
Let's not
I
do
can't
that
put-
on your
see,
mouth.
there
Let's not
you
do
go.
that. No, let's not do that on your mouth. I think that's.
But
I think that's over. I think that's over the line. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So I'm just saying.
So Reggie is with us.
I'm just saying.
Reggie's
I'm
with
just
us.
saying
No,
that
that's you,
I
Rawborn.
do
I
also
ain't with
argue that there's an ancestral realm,
When we was
and
at
I know that
Garfield, you
Rawborn
didn't find
has been
phone,
on the
did you?
corner pouring some out for the
Okay.
brothers who aren't here. And if he hasn't, he's a liar. You know he has. You know he has. That's a libation. Africans have been celebrating the ancestors since time immemorial. The first building in stone, what the Europeans call the step pyramid, its real name is libations to the divine. I don't even want to go there. I don't want to even. Okay.
No, he don't believe that. Come on, man. Ain't nobody believe Father Allah.
Built by
What's
Africans.
that? Father
It's
Allah.
called libations.
We was there on the night.
So we have always argued that our ancestors, that there is a
I think I
realm for the
lost it when I was out there
He
with
doesn't need
Divine
to believe
Father.
that. Once again, I'm not going to force that on him.
Ask him
He's the
about
one
Father
that's
Allah.
trying to tell me that I should not do it.
Ask him about
And I
Father
want you to
Allah.
also understand that when we talk about the divine, we are talking about indwelling principles and outdwelling principles. I'm not crying for someone to save me. I believe that when I see divinity in myself, it will allow me to apply myself more effectively, more powerfully to the challenges that I have in my community. If you see divinity in yourself, all of those challenges will not be a problem. And so that is what I am saying. And I want to say, hold on, and I want to say that Rob Warren is saying something similar when he says that black men and women are the ones that saved ourselves. I say the same thing, but I'm saying we have to see ourselves as the divine force. So I think that when he describes spirituality and religious practices, he may not completely understand the practices that I adhere to.
Nobody never understands.
And so, no, I don't think you do. If you say
no one never understands.
I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
Because the major question never got answered.
And so the reality is, I think that Rob Warren and I could have more conversations, and at least he may not agree with me, but at least he'll be able to see.
You got to know how to do it. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Rob Warren.
Go ahead.
Are we energy?
Yes, everything is energy.
Can you destroy energy? So that means we will always be here.
No.
Hold on. Can you destroy energy?
No.
Hold on. Can you destroy energy, bro?
No, it transforms.
I'm answering your question, man.
I'm answering it. Give me the mic. So, no. Good try, but it ain't going to work. So, when you talking about energy, everything is energy. Everything goes through a transition. Everything. Stars, moon, all of us.
So Father Allah is dead and gone.
He's not here.
Is he still living?
No, listen. I need to explain this to you.
Careful,
listen.
The gods will tell you Father Allah still lives today.
Let me explain.
Not physically, of course.
That's the point.
Right, but that's what we talk about.
No. He's talking about an ancestral realm. He believes in the afterlife. He believes that these people are in some other place.
No.
Yes, he do. He just said
not
it.
in the physical realm.
Exactly. What's outside of the physical realm? You can't show and prove that. So what I'm saying
I can't show and prove what?
You outside the physical realm that there's this place where all the people are.
No.
You can't prove that, but that's what
Jabari don't believe that.
Yes, he do.
Jabari.
He believes in the afterlife.
As Rob Warren says.
Can I just finish?
Go ahead.
So when we say that he's alive, we're talking about his teachings.
Yeah.
Those teachings. And with those teachings, we embody that. The physical person, because of how we are taught and what we teach, no man can ever come back. When I'm speaking about this form of spiritual reality, when you're talking about an afterlife outside of this realm, you can't prove that. That's a belief. You can have that belief, that's fine. But my question that did not get answered, why are you attacking all of the Hebrews,
I did answer it.
and all of these things?
I did answer
and that's in there. Yes, you
Let
did.
me answer it again.
You said you went to the misogyny part. I'm talking about this mythical story that you tell them. Your story is a myth. It's
What's
not
wrong
real.
with saying it's a myth?
It's not, because they believe it's real.
That's because
no.
Stop.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
Rob Warren, no.
And this is my last thing, because you said a lot.
Go ahead.
So you asked me about my name. So in our name,
I didn't ask you about your name.
You said your name is Rob.
I said I made a comment that you are Rob Warren.
Right. So now, in our tradition, we have an alphabet. Each letter means something, and this is where we get our names from. Ruler, Allah. That's what that means in our tradition. So when you saying what you're saying, that's not
He's
what we
correct.
mean.
I know he's correct, but does he not hear the contradictions in what he's saying?
because the contradiction.
Wait, am I crazy, or did you hear what he just said? Ruler Allah.
Yeah. So all right. So
stop, Rob Warren. You're not making it. You're embarrassing yourself right now.
Okay, you jumping up and down.
Because I can't believe you just said that.
I'm gonna tell you why. How do I see Allah? Who is Allah? We teach that Allah is the black man.
Okay.
We don't teach that Allah is the God outside of the head. We say arm, leg, arm, supreme, intelligent head. When we say we are God, we are saying the same thing. As a man thinking,
that's made up.
So it doesn't. That's what we made up in America. It is made up. All religion is made up. Kemetic, Sumerian, all of these people made these cultures up to sustain themselves. And when you look at the things that they venerate from water, you'll see that that's a deity. You look at a certain crop, that's a deity because that sustains those people. And everybody makes these things up so that they can control their society. As agriculture begins to build, now they got to make rules. Now you have your punishing gods because you have to keep these things in order. All of these things are made up. They all come from the mind of man and woman. No spirit that is written in these texts ever came down. You don't see it. You believe it. So what we deal with the actual fact that people show and prove. My thing with you is the ancestral realm. You believe in this afterlife. I don't believe it. Did black people believe in it? Facts.
Okay.
Did the Africans believe in it? Yes.
Fine.
I don't have to.
Okay.
It's not real.
But I didn't say
I'm an African here in America.
When you say it's not real,
Listen, why does
What I'm
Rob
saying
Bourne
is,
think?
no, this is
Why
true.
does Rob Bourne think?
When I say it's not real,
Listen,
that means that you can't. It's not tangible.
it is not
It's
tangible.
not real. Exactly.
I said it doesn't exist on the physical
No, it doesn't
realm.
exist. Period.
Listen,
It
the
doesn't
idea-
exist. Period.
But can you prove that? I mean, I'm not saying you right or wrong. I'm just saying, can you prove it?
Listen, Rob Bourne
I mean, can you
is
prove they out there? They
both
didn't have to
sides of
come
it, and I know
back.
you hear it.
But can you prove that it
First of
don't
all, the brother's
exist?
name is Rob Bourne, and you can't tell me it's just ruler Allah. It's also connected to Ra, the creation deity of the Kemetic tradition. He's like, why is he trying to say something else? And then he has an abbreviation for Allah. Allah is the name of a deity. They just explained what they meant by Allah. Allah is the name of a deity.
But that's
And
not
he's
what we
saying the
need.
deity.
We made it up.
He's saying the deity is inside of us.
No.
That is what I am saying.
I never said that.
He's saying his arm, leg, arm, intelligent head.
That's a human being.
He's saying that, I know that. I'm saying that we argue that the divine force is
What
within
divine
us.
force? What is it? Describe the divine force.
Allah is a divine force.
No, it's not.
Okay, fine. So that,
What is the divine
whatever
force?
he wants to argue.
No,
Rob
define
Bourne.
this to the people. What is
What
the divine
the
force?
divine
What
force
is it?
is the creative spark that generates and maintains the entire universe.
Oh.
And that universe is, we are also part of that we are the stuff of stars. Now, he doesn't have to, I'm not going to his house and arguing that. And he said to me, why am I arguing with the Hebrews and others? I already told you. I have issues with the fact that they plagiarized and then tried to destroy these people in these early traditions. I have issues that they continue to proclaim things that are misogynistic. I have issues that they have forced their traditions, European traditions, on people of African descent. I think that he would actually agree with those things. Why he's here arguing with me, I don't know. Ra Bourne. Stop it! He's born of Ra! Why is he's talking out of both sides of his neck, you see both mouths, and then all of a sudden, I'm wrong. And I said to you that in the African tradition, we are divine.
Now you
And he
see why
says
we call him
the
the Floyd
African
Mayweather
tradition
content.
is that men and women do it, and that we have to do the work. I agree that as well. I agree that as well. Then he says that energy is not destroyed. That's a scientific principle that actually we see described very vibrantly in ancient Kemetic tradition. So I think that when I say he doesn't understand, sometimes he is pillaring me with things that other spiritual traditions have been arguing. And I am not arguing those things. You know, Sonetta is like the dog with the squirrel. He just said, squirrel! He doesn't, you know,
No.
y'all see the camera go all the way off while somebody's talking. I know, but the camera's just always inside. Anyway, I have to. I do not have. I have other things to do. But this is what I want you to hear. You have to know that my college level course on the history of ancient Kemet begins Monday. It begins Monday. Go
hear that,
to
Rob?
centerforma'at.com and you'll see it's called 3 Millennia of Excellence. It's a college level course. If you want to understand the history of Kemet,
Black.
you will get that
Know it.
in this course. So please, don't wait. Because you know what always happens, Sonetta? 2 weeks from now, someone's going to say, oh, I didn't hear, I didn't know. I'm telling you now, and I've been saying all along, go to Center for Ma'at. Ma'at is spelled MAAT.com, and you'll see more information on my college level course on ancient Kemet.
Do you think Rob
With
Bourne
that-
should participate in your college course?
I would love Rob Bourne to know more about the history of Kemet. I would love for that.
So now I don't know
not
the
because
history of
You don't know
I
it,
didn't
brother.
say you
What do you
don't
mean
know
I
that.
don't know it?
Listen,
Prove it.
I didn't say he doesn't know the history of Kemet. I didn't say that.
I'm
I'm
saying
just
that.
saying I believe, and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm willing to say I'm wrong. I believe that I might know more about the history of Kemet than Rob Bourne.
You're not wrong.
I could be wrong. And it's not an insult.
You're
to
not
say.
wrong,
There are
though.
things that Rob Bourne... Listen, I've already said, every single time I'm on with Rob Bourne, I say I respect his intellect. He reads everything. I'm not insulting
But
him
there's
by
a
saying
difference
that he can
between
learn.
reading and understanding.
I'm not disagreeing on that. But I just saying
You
if he
need
wanted
to know that you're the
if he wanted
Floyd
to do the
Mayweather and
class-
respect your jabs. That's
if
all.
he wanted to do the
That's
class,
all.
he would be welcome to do so. But and I'm going to say to him that he thinks I'm insulting when I say he doesn't understand the tradition. But virtually everyone that hears him describe the Kemetic tradition recognizes that he's missing what we're saying.
on, man.
And so
you just agree
and
with
so
my
and so I want to say that I would like to talk to him more about it because I respect his intellect, but he has not studied that much about the Kemetic tradition, and I would like to explain it to him. Now he can agree to do that or not. I didn't say the brother is not learned or he's stupid or anything. I didn't say any of that about him. He like gets upset when I say that we should have more conversations about something.
Hey, how you doing?
You just said.
How you doing?
Anyway, listen, family, peace, family. I enjoy talking with you, and I hope that I'll see you on Monday.
Who we got tonight?
I don't know if he's gonna show up tonight.
No, he's gonna
but we
show
are
up.
supposed to have a conversation with Judah Naz. We'll see what happens.
All right, he'll
Okay?
show up.
All right, fam.
All right,
Peace.
Hey,
So,
thank you for
so he's leaving. He's doing his shuffle up out of here.
Yes, I'm shuffling.
Yeah,
After being there for like 2 hours.
Before you go, what I was
So yeah, Ramon, listen,
y'all. Listen.
Oh, thank you, Queen.
yeah.
Listen, y'all.
Yes,
Hey, my brother,
Thank you.
I can't get it. Grab the joint. Thank you.
Yeah, listen, y'all. So the question is the same thing that Hebrews ask and everybody asks, right? The question was, why do you attack their beliefs if you have beliefs that are similar to them? Right? So that's the question. All this other extra stuff, you don't know what spirituality. No, I define, all right, here's one part. Here is the afterlife, the ancestral realm, communicating with spirit. You heard him say that he believed in that.
Yeah, but our ancestors always dealt with the spiritual realm.
That's cool.
The spiritual realm is nothing physical.
Yes, it's a belief.
Right.
Can you agree with me right now that that's a belief, that you can't prove that?
Reggie believe in the spiritual
No, you
ancestors.
don't believe in those spiritual realms. So when you're dealing with African spirituality, they have that component there, right? They say that they can talk to these people. You might have a Babylon that can communicate with the dead. We don't. That's not true.
See, before you, Garfield, got a hold of Reggie, he believed in the spiritual realm. He believed in the ancestors. He believed in Kemet. And so now y'all got a hold of him. And now Reggie
has been doing this before I've been around.
Right. But Reggie have been heavily influenced by y'all.
No, he hasn't.
He don't even defend Kemet like he's supposed
Yeah, he do.
to.
He just don't deal with the spiritual part. He deal with the history and the science.
Let Reggie talk.
All right, I'm done right now. So what I'm saying to y'all is this, right? Check it out. When we are in a day and time right now that we have to look towards ourselves, right? We are in a day and time right now where we have a whole bunch of situations, and it is dealing with our identity crisis. And dealing with this identity crisis, you are dealing with multiple factions of it, from Moors, Christianity, Islam. Everybody's Kemetic, everybody is this, everybody is that. These things causes issues where people can't come together to do the actual work that we need to be done. I'm saying that we can liberate ourselves without spirituality. I'm saying all of that money that's put into the black church, all of that money that's put into the mosque, all of that money that's put into the shrine could be used to put into the community to do these specific things.
Man,
that's not saying that you might have people who are doing that and not at the same time. That's not saying
See,
that.
Ramon, it would have been no. Hold on, I gotta cut you on this, man. I gotta cut your ass on this.
Go ahead, man. You want to get this spooky? Hey, come on, get your spookiness on. Get your spooky. No, hold on.
Hold on, no, because
Netta has been converted. He is a Hebrew. He believes in all kinds.
I'm not no goddamn Hebrew.
You spooky, bro.
Yeah. Now, Ramon, number one, you said that all this money that we spending in the shrine, all this money that we spending in the church, right? But I'm particularly talking about us, our people. I'm talking about us, our people, the conscious level, right? You should have been saying all this money that we spending in McDonald's, all this money that we spending in the Chinese restaurant, but not the shrine, brother, of Ma'at. How you gonna go at Jabari or go at No, bro. We are supposed to make economics out of our culture, brother. So why is you saying out of all this money we spending with them, we supposed to spend the money with them? This is how you keep the economics flowing within your community. Every community does it. From the Japanese to the Chinese to the Jews, but when it comes to us as a people, now we saying all this money that you're spending with the shrine and all the money that you're spending at the House of Consciousness and all the money that you're spending with Brother Reggie and the money that you're spending with Mkdiji, Come on, Rob. You cut on that, brother. You're wrong on that.
What I said?
I'm speaking to Jim.
All right, so what I'm saying is,
So yeah, let's
the time and money that you put into a spiritual faith, and actually nothing is come. There is no spirit saving us.
Yeah.
There is nothing. There is no spiritual form or system that's going to save us. The only thing that we know that saved us is when we came together as a collective to move. Even though people might have a spiritual system, the reality is, me and Reggie got together. He's a Christian, I'm a Christian. Yes, God, that's our bond because we believe in the same God. Listen, we want to build a community center over there, such and such, let's begin to quote. That is the reality. This is what I'm trying to get people to see. That's the reality. All that other stuff, we kind of really don't need it. We don't need it. The church in the last 10 years got $300 billion, man. There's a church on every corner over here in Harlem. But we talking about gentrification.
Whoa, they're out of business.
Damn, I know they hit me. I know they got me.
So I'm done though, man.
I know they got me.
Any more? Here you go, Reggie.
I'm right on the corner. I know they got me. Hey, but Reggie, I call you Dr. Reggie for a reason. I know you ain't buying this, man. I know you ain't buying this.
No, I'm a teacher. So some of it, what Rob Horn is saying is actually the truth. We have a bad.
Ah, man, you've been conquered, Reggie.
We have a bad element for all the effort and anything that we have put in.
Nova, I need you over here, brother. They banging on African spirituality, Nova.
For all of the effort that.
Hold up. Come set the record straight, though. Come set.
Can I talk?
Come set the record straight, though.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
For all the effort, right, the capital that we have put in, what has happened is that we lost a concept of what we actually put those things together for. Those institutions that we pulled together, right, was for liberation. Instead, what we happened is we had the leadership of these institutions begin to profit over the people, right? And so we lost track of why we built those institutions. Those institutions, right out of slavery, we built more institutions by ourselves with our own money and even without money than any generation. And we did it for the liberation of our people. We did it for education of our people. However, generations after that, it became cult factions, right? Corner stores. And then Christianity, some people had a new hustle. Christianity wasn't doing the job. So now what we're going to do? We're going to bring in the mosque. That's going to be the new thing, or the temple, right? So we're going to bring in that. But if you look closely, it all narrows down to some cult leader in charge. And then all of a sudden, the doors get closed for the institutions. Why aren't the churches open? Why aren't the temples open? Why aren't the synagogues open? They lost track. Now we have new systems coming in with this great love of Africa, right? And I was there in '86, and I seen it flourish, right? And then I see, where are some of these? I'm not talking about my brother Jabari and his wife Anika. I'm not talking about them. But however, they find themselves in the conversation because they are the only ones who come out, Rabbi, to talk to us. So we have to give all our grievance to them, right? Because the rest of them, you never see. Unless you're buying something. You don't see them in work in the community. You just don't see it. So then you start to question. Now, my teacher, Dr. Yosef Ben Jochanan, he didn't believe in any God. You know that, right? Dr. John Henry Clark did not believe in any God.
He believed in the God of our ancestors, though. Dr. Ben as well.
You don't. I am closer to him.
Let's see.
I'm closer to him.
But Dr. Ben believed in the spirit of the ancestors, brother.
Yosef Ben Jochanan does not have a belief.
He talked about the gods of the ancient Kemetic system.
He said what they practice. Dr. Ben taught us to know and not to believe. And if you say anything other than that, then you do not know Dr. Joseph Benzo Cannon. You think you know of him.
That's
but
right.
You never ever got taught by him. So when I come, the problem is that what I'm saying is because of the things that came out of his mouth. Not that I follow him, but I can tell you what he says, and it makes sense. And it doesn't mean that he was a perfect man, or any of them wasn't a perfect man. But then I look at the people who are wrapping themselves around spirituality, and what the hell are they doing? So now yesterday, which you saved the captain from having a conversation with me, you saved him. You didn't let me talk. You saved him. And then on the channel, you said you threw in the towel. Let me tell you something. The difference between what I do for your channel is that I give the people information.
Great work.
To read. Don't believe me. You can believe the captain. You can believe anybody else with a spiritual system. You can believe them. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to look at the material that I give you because it's a tool. So when Haiti was won by those Africans, it wasn't, you could call it spirituality, but it was actually tools. It was actually tools. It was actually military superiority over the French army. And these were black troops, right, who had fought for the French prior to, right, and organized themselves into an African regiment because they fought for Africans during the slave trade against these people, and they formulated themselves and they became a military might. I'm not going to say that that is spirituality. If I say spirituality, I really mean unity. That's all I mean when I say spirituality. I just mean unity. So the question is what tools, Sinetta, are we doing? What are we using? Now, I work with you because you have the best platform to deal with all of these issues. And we may not agree often. And then, of course, on these platforms, we do need some laughter. We do need some entertainment. But what you do really need for your audience, right, is tools in which they could verify. So Rob Vaughn was what he was talking about was tools, right? Garfield has a book, Tools. Our ancestors, and I have a lot of agreement with Brother Jabari, and I have a lot of disagreement with Brother Jabari. Africa spent, at some point, more time with spirituality than, in fact, they did with fortifying their civilizations. Ancient Egypt built walls against the south from having the civilizations of Kerma and others invade them because there was a civilization. They did not spend enough time in the Delta region. The Delta region is where the attacks came from. Too many pyramids? Too many pyramids, not enough forts and fortifications. How did that happen? Spirituality took over instead of common sense. So we have to be, as Dr. Edgar Ridley says, we have to be symptomatic rather than symbolic. So I don't have too much to say unless Rob Vaughn or somebody wants to say. The question is on spirituality, don't look for spirituality, look for unity and look for activity that helps your people. Don't look at people's big houses, big cars, big property, and what the hell they're talking about, because we have lost the mission. And then the other thing that was really interesting about that whole thing with that woman that stopped by, I don't know where Captain Tazaryach is from, but this is Harlem. You can expect everything in Harlem.
Do you feel you could have did a better job yesterday with Captain Tazaryach? Or do you feel you really let him off the hook, though, Reggie?
No, I felt that.
And the reason I say that is because you was coming at him more with Jewish culture instead of the black Hebrew Israelites.
That's absolutely not. Well, first of all, the Torah and Tanakh is Israelite.
You was talking about the Talmud as well.
Right, the Torah and the Tanakh is Israel. That's who he is. But for you unlearned idiots, Israel spent time in Babylon, so they came out with a language and they was influenced by Babylon. So when they came out with but you don't study, so you don't know, right? And so when they come out, their culture is integrated. So when they want to say who the black Hebrew Israelites, well, goddamn it, where are they in history? Why are they these spooky people that you can't find in history? Everybody's a Hebrew Israelite according to them. Everybody. You can't find who the so-called black Hebrew Israelites are. But see, that's the game that you play. So the people that know would follow and see that Yahweh or this group of people disappeared and they replaced it. Watch this.
Hold up. Do y'all know who this is? What movie he played in?
Well, we know him.
What movie my man played in? Y'all know him. Y'all see him. Huh?
I ain't finished.
All right. What movie he played in if y'all love movies? He played in about 40 of them. I know 5 Heartbeats was one of them. He was the one that went up against
At the house of
David Ruffin. Remember?
Ruffin.
Yeah.
Well, you got him. So the question is, you are looking at people, an imaginary history that people are creating, and you have only your belief, but you can't. There's nothing that you can do to convince us that was real. There's no artifacts to convince it. So, how does Brother Reggie feel? Brother Reggie is an educator. Brother Reggie gave the people the information to show you. I asked the brother, has anybody ever seen Yahweh, God? He says no. But then when we look at the Moses story, 74 people who say, how does that work? Right? I asked him with the commandments. I asked him, does it say don't put any other God before me? Then I go and show him a whole text where Jesus is before him. I give you the data right in front of your face, and then what you did was you watch what you wanted to watch, what you know, which is ingrained in your slavery, that Bible. So you have to save the Bible. But you don't know much about Israelite culture that you people claim that you do. We don't hear anything about the history. All we hear is the religious stories. But when we look for the history, we don't find the history. So the question is, it was an exercise. And then he said something really interesting. He said he read the Torah and the Tanakh. We're going to test, because you can't read the Torah and the Tanakh in English. It's like reading the Quran in English. If you don't read Hebrew, you haven't read the Torah and the Tanakh if you don't know it. If you haven't learned Arabic, you can't read the Quran. You can't do it. If you're reading in English, then somebody is playing with your mind. The problem is on your channel, which I thought, Sarnetta, is that you had the smartest audience over these years.
I still do, brother. We still do have the smartest.
They can detect game. So I show information, the other person shows talk. I thought that we was better than that. I showed Jesus Christ. I showed Jesus Christ misreading his own Father's words. He's reading that they give sight to the blind. But If you go to the Hebrew, it does not say that. And I showed the people that. What more do you want Brother Reggie to do? So yeah, Brother Reggie is happy that I was allowed, that Sonnet allowed me to do the presentation.
I think it's the way you probably articulated it.
I don't think there's any way that you can see. Okay, we have two different methods. One method is just to teach with the facts. And the other one is to be satisfied because you think that you entertain. The people who know what I did. I showed that they're nothing really but Christians. They are more akin to that Holy Bible, King James Holy Bible, than they are to anything else. I'm not making any apologies because I'm not here to entertain. If you want an entertainer, go get that actor that just passed, right? If you want people who is going to educate the community, then you come back with me.
So if Captain was here right now, what would you say to him?
Oh, it's the same thing that I said yesterday, right? You actually, what happened to Jesus
Ready to go
Christ?
walk down the block? Let's go do a drive-by.
We could go and do a drive-by, right? But the fact of the matter is, he was here for all this time, and the stuff that Joe was talking about, the root of it is actually that slave trade. You cannot disagree that the slave trade is, and in that slave trade was that book. Now, they can claim that book belonged to them, but we haven't found a black Christian in Africa, in West Africa.
Yeah, mama.
We haven't found that at that time period. We know it was Islamic, right? We know that the Hebrews converted under the Arabs. We know this for a fact. So to keep going back and forth, and we have history on our side, I have to ask you, what kind of channel are you running? Are you running a channel of who can tap dance the better? Or are you running a channel where we actually verify facts? If my facts are wrong, which nobody said my facts are wrong, you know what they want to know? My delivery, what I look like, how I dress it, right? The fact of the matter is my job is just to deliver it. But if you want entertainment, go get entertainment, because it tells you me that all you're interested in is the charismatic Negro. And that's who you want to follow instead of the information. So I make no apologies. I gave you the information. I showed that what they call baptism is a Christian takeover, right, of an already Hebrew concept, which that concept came from another culture from which they came from. And we can get to that. So I was giving a lot of wiggle room and a lot of content. Captain said to the audience, he read the Torah and the Tanakh. We want to see that now. You can't be lying. You can't be lying on our channel, right? He said that. So then my only problem is, why is there such a lack of Hebrew terms, right? How come you don't ever see them reading it, right?
Yeah.
We actually try to learn ancient Egypt language. We call it Medu Necha. You actually see us actually try to read it, right? Try to comprehend it, right? So the fact of the matter is, we try, but you can't have a rabbi or Israelite teacher who don't know Hebrew. You can't have an imam who doesn't know Arabic. So we're going to test that, and that's my gift to you. While you're throwing in the towel on me and saying, you didn't do a good job, right? You didn't do a good job.
Brother Reggie, I did not throw in the towel on you, brother. The debate was over. The conversation was over.
No, but you said, Brother Reggie, I have to do this, and no, for no one else, you do that shit, right? You said, Brother Reggie, right? I have to say that you didn't feel that I did a good job. But brother, to me, I did the greatest job for you, because I showed the people that these people don't really believe.
You know what I'm going to do, Reggie? I'm going to go back and look it up again, look at it again. And then if I feel that you did a good job, I will correct it. I will correct it.
No,
Rob
I want no.
Rob Vaughn said, "Oh shit."
You know
Yeah,
what
I
it
will
is?
have to correct it.
You know what it is? It's
But no, I really believe that you could have done a better job, Reggie. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, look at the mode of it. Look at the mode.
Yeah, Rob Vaughn want to get it.
Yeah, he gave me an hour. I did 5 topics.
Yeah.
In an hour, right? He was in his workroom, right? He never really had the time, and I knew that, right? I knew that. My job was, listen, Captain Tazaryach, I respect the brother. That wasn't my job. My job was to put forth to the people and have him answer some questions. Does he follow Yahweh or does he follow Jesus? Simple as that.
And he'll tell you he follow Yahweh.
Right. That's what he said, and then I put it to the test. Now, does that brother do work in the community? Yeah, he does work in the community. The problem was, when I listened to him...
But see, when he said that, you supposed to know how to counter. When you said, do you follow who?
Yeah, that was the beginning of the question. Do you follow Yahweh or... No, that was the opening.
Do he follow Yahweh or who?
Right, or Yahweh.
And what did he say?
Oh, he follows... He's gonna say he follows the Bible.
You know what I would have came back with?
I don't have to come back.
I would have came back with no, Negro. You follow General Yohana, brother. That's how you hit him back.
Yeah.
You know, you come on.
But listen,
because he follows the general.
But that's your job. That's not my job. My job is to give you the data while I can, right? And your job is to run this channel, run the baddest black channel that we actually have. That's your job.
Now, see, somebody just said Reggie is top scholar. Give that man his credit. Yes, we give him his credit, but every songwriter is not a singer. They just a songwriter. You know what I'm saying? You got so many good songwriters that can't sing.
I am not a debater.
That's
he wasn't
that's
watching a debate. He was having a conversation with me trying to get to the truth of the matter. That is what you was watching. I needed some questions. I asked him, simple question. How many people have seen God? Don't we want to know how many people have seen God? The Bible says no man has seen God
and lived.
But the Old Testament says, well, no man really actually ends up living. But the Old Testament says 74 people see. What are we? Who's playing 3 Chord Molly with us? That book is playing 3 Chord Molly with us, and it's at the center of our enslavement.
Captain Tazaryach is in the chat. He said, Reggie, you got your ass whipped. This is what he said. He's in the chat right now.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And Captain, you can feel that way, right? I'm not going back and forth with you. The data is there for the people. If you are a better debater than me, I give you that. But the question is, I answered you some questions, you answered it your way. The people can decide. So Captain Tazaryach is my brother. They do a lot of good work in the community. But at the end of the day, that book that you use is our enslavement. Not the people, but the book are the people who enslaved us.
You spoke to Cynthia today, earlier today. What did she tell you? What was her advice? What did Sister Cynthia tell you?
Your wife said that I should be harder, right? But that's your beautiful wife. That has nothing to do with scholarship.
She said you got to get stronger, tougher minded.
I do not.
No, I'm just saying that's what she said. But you said
yeah, but I do not. Because you know why, respectfully?
Yes.
Because I've been doing this work a long time and our people are fragile. So I don't want to upset a lot of people. I have a lot of enemies out there.
I'm upsetting you. Spooky, I'm calling it out.
Right.
There you go, Rob.
Let me get it before I get out of here.
Right. So the question is, yeah, I have a lot of enemies. I got a lot more enemies than Rob Bourne.
Nah, Reggie, you don't got no enemies.
Oh man, you seen them. You seen how they came out for me.
You don't got enemies. You got people that disagree with you strongly, brother.
Strongly, brother.
But they love you, man.
Strongly.
They're not enemies,
No,
man.
strongly.
If you had a lot of enemies, you wouldn't be able to walk up and down 125th Street.
No, if they could get me, they would. Because you know why?
No, they won't.
Because I take away their money.
You don't
I
have
take
no
away their
enemies,
souls in their religion, right? I take it away, right? Because if I can show our people something to break that goddamn trance, then maybe they can do something for their community. Rob Vaughn, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, this is real quick. No, this is real quick. I'm out of here. So for those who want to know why I got my gloves on, I was looking at the chat. I got the gloves on because I was doing pull-ups. If you look, I got workout stuff on. This is all work. I'm doing pull-ups, getting money. This is what we do out here. All I'm doing, this is something you will see a flying Negro on a light pole, bro. I'm that guy. And it's nice outside, so I wanted to get some money. So this is real quick. When I'm speaking about no spookism, I'm saying that anything that you cannot show and prove, any religious text, I don't care if it comes from Samaria, I don't care if it comes from Kemet, I don't care where it came from. If you can't show and prove that, and that's not directly changing the things that you believe in right now, I don't care about it. Now, do I teach about what our ancestors did and how they saw spirituality and what they were doing? Yeah, we talk about it because we have to do that so that we can show the connection to the people.
Because it makes history.
Right.
Because it makes history. Actually, it's something that's recorded.
Right.
You can see it.
Right. So now, let's say if I bring up the Free African Society, right? 1787. Y'all heard us talk about this. There's something that was said there. Now, the date is 1787. They wanted to make a religious organization to help black people. Then they said, well, this is not going to work. He's a Methodist. He's a Baptist. This person is a Quaker. Well, we can't make this organization about religion. We're going to just make it just for black people. And that became the foundation of the blueprint to build our first life insurances coming all the way down the line. 1960s, what do you hear Malcolm X say? He said, I'm a Muslim and my relationship between Islam is between me and my God. But when we come together, there's some work that we must do. When you're dealing with the conscious community, it is really a religious community. They lead with religion first. They lead with spirituality first. They lead with the spookism first. You want to talk to me about crystals, astral projection. You want to talk to me about...
But your ancestors always been spiritual, brother.
What we talking about...
You are here because of this strong spirituality. Hold on. You are here, Rabon, because of the strength of the spirit of your ancestors that got you through the way.
Listen, this is the question.
You keep on now that you're here. And those are the people who fought for you, who bled, who died.
I bear witness to those people. Those are the people who are real people who put the work in to free us. When you put that word spirit in it, which is why I asked you, Bobby, he don't want to answer no questions.
Didn't that turn to have spirituality?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, right there. It was because of his spirit. Hold on.
Let me finish.
Hold on, brother. It was because his spirituality that made him fearless.
Brother, listen to me.
Hold up, that made him fearless to the white man. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
You gotta agree, because if he didn't...
That's what's up, Rats. That's what's up, Rats.
So that argument that you gave is what religious people do. Well, this person has spirituality, so that's the thing that freed them. No, it was the condition of white people oppressing black people. That person got introduced to Christianity, and he became that.
I agree.
So he may have used specific verses in the book, but it was the condition of black people being killed and the courage of that man to do it. I don't know about what this spirit you're talking about. This is what I asked the Bobby, don't answer. The divine force that's in me. What divine force? What are you talking about? We know, and you brought up energy. Protons, neutrons, electrons. We're talking about real things that we can show and prove. What is a divine force? It's a belief. That is a spiritual concept. Something that's made up. Right? So now, when you're looking at back to what I was saying with Malcolm, he didn't go to say that. Right? So when we're looking at the true liberation of the people, it is the knowledge of self, of kind, knowing who you are, what makes you tick.
Is it true, Rob? And be honest, is it true that the nation of gods and earth still say that Father Allah is alive and with us till this day? Do they say that, yes or no? Don't lie, brother.
No.
Oh, don't do that,
no,
man.
No, listen.
They say Father Allah is still here.
No, bro. When we say,
but not physically.
Can I exactly.
They don't say he's not here physically. So you gotta, but in spirit.
No, we don't say spirit.
Oh,
we don't got
all right,
that.
You don't have to say the word spirit.
We don't have that.
But you still say he's still here with us.
Brother, listen. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. So let's say if I go at the Robo, right, and I look at how a person becomes an ancestor. Right, to go to the ancestors, right? They have to do specific things for the tribe. So if I'm looking at Shango and I'm looking at Ugun, that person is not here, but it is the quality of that person's character that is being embodied. Thus they named that Shango. If I'm looking at Ugun, I'm looking at metalworking, we're looking at technology. This is the thing that's ascribed to that person. When we say Allah lives, we're talking about the information that he gave us to bring us to this specific point. That's what that means. We're not talking about nothing spiritual because that man really existed. We really know he existed. We know he was alive and he did specific works that we know amongst our people, which is why the street is named that down the block.
Not only that, he did save Harlem.
Exactly. Save Harlem from being destroyed. So what I'm saying, right, so what I'm saying is that's what we mean. This other part, this spiritual and all these other things, nah. So for me, I'm against all spookism. Just because black people used to do something, that don't mean that you should be doing it. So now I'm gonna take you a little deeper in the water. I want the people that's listening to look up long juju, Long juju in Nigeria. What is that? This is something of the people called the Arrow people in West Africa, in the Arrow Confederacy. They use their spiritual system, not Christianity, not Islam, none of that. They use their spiritual system to enslave other Africans. This is what they did. So when they did this, they would bring someone who had committed a crime to the river, and then they would put something red, and something red comes into the water and the water turns red, that means that he has been taken away. But really what was happening on the other side was the Europeans.
Step your chest game up.
Right? So here's an aspect where you have people using their African spirituality to do something specific. And the people believe that. They believe that when that water turned red, that some spiritual force have took them. This is what I'm trying to break down so you can understand the power of belief. But the reality is the people who made this and created this ideology had a specific person and agenda. So, in closing, with Egypt, Samaria, Indus Valley, West Africa, East Africa, all of these religions or spiritual systems were created by them to sustain their society. And the things that help sustain them, that's why you see the sun, the moon, and the stars always have a myth behind it. Because these are the things that impact the people. Right? And because those things impact the people, we make stories on it because we didn't have the science that we have today. Right? So with that being said, I'm saying this. Lead with black people first and not your spiritual system. Keep that between you and your God. And then we'll move forward. If you don't do that, then, hey, we're going to still be arguing.
Hey, it's been how long since we've been out here, Sarnetta, man, on 120? Has it been about what?
Oh, you turned it off?
Yeah, not yet. It's been about 2 years?
Yeah.
We've been out here.
You said it's been about 2 years.
That we've come back out here.
Yes.
About 2 years.
No, it's more than 2 years.
Yeah, it's more than 10 years.
It's like 3 years.
We've actually come out. Yeah. Welcome back, family. Welcome to
Welcome back
to
the Terror Dome, motherfuckers.
Say it again, say it again.
Welcome to the Terror Dome, motherfuckers.
Yeah. The knowledge continues, the work continues, right? And you see the people looking, the people are saying, Brother Sarnetta, Brother Rob Barnes, Brother Reggie, Brother Jabari, even Brother Captain Tazaryach. We're back, right? We're back educated, right? So that's what it is. How's Brother Larry?
Larry's good. He's a lot better.
All right.
No spookism 2022.
Larry will agree with you.
Yeah. No spookism.
You heard me? Larry will agree with y'all.
If you come over here, I don't care what you are. If you beating up the Bible every day, and I find out that you are a part of some spiritual spookism, I'm coming at you. We're not playing this game no more in 2022, man. You come over here talking about I got this, all right, cool. Show me your God. Well, I don't mean this. I really mean that it's I don't really believe that Haru is coming, but no, what the hell does the fucking people believe, man? What is the story of the destruction of mankind? So me and Brother Jabari, we gonna have some more talk about this.
Looks like a debate.
We gonna have some more talk about this. We gonna get it in on it.
And people,
no spookism 2022.
And people, if I give you some information, fact check. If it's wrong, the problem is I don't see in the chat where you're saying that I'm wrong. If it's wrong, fact check it. Right? That's all we ask as scholars. If we research
Good to meet
information,
you know who that is?
Right?
Good to meet you, man.
Tell them who you are.
All we ask
Key Life Production, brother. It's Kim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The one that be in the
right?
Yo, Mike, what up?
If you do not research the material, then you are simply, if you do not research the material that we give you, then you are simply a believer. We are not convinced with people's words. That's the big man. That's what Unc calls the big man, the charismatic leader. We're not interested in that. We're interested in, then one thing say this, and the other thing say that, and the contradictions in between. And what we do with it. That's the only thing that we're concerned with. So peace and Black African power. It's a beautiful day, son. Glad to be out here with you.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother Reggie. And like I said, I'm going to have to go back and look at the video again. Check out the information.
I want the people.
All right, you can cut that off so I can get you real quick. Come on, let me get my man Key Life Production. You know Key Life Production that be in the chat. This is my brother